What's up, everyone? It's Kamari here, and I'm so excited to share with you a few replays of Poet Chats from 2019. We're getting ready to kick off 2020 Poet Chats. So, what is Poet Chats? Poet Chats is my annual contribution to National Poetry Month, which is April. So, every April and every night, I interview a different poet that I either know personally or have seen around the scene or meeting them for the first time over the interwebs. So I am excited to share with you a few replays as we get ready to launch this 2020 version on April 1st. So the first video I'm going to share with you now is the interview with Jessica Galleon, aka Yellow Woman. She is the author of Can't No Woman, Woman Like Me, and you'll get to know her on this interview. So it's going to play straight through because, hashtag I'm still learning videography, film and editing and all of that. So rock with me. This is grassroots. This is first one. Let's get into it. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Got to keep this thing going. So make sure you find me, Kamari Carter Hawkins, on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at Kamari Creative. And let's get this thing going. Stay tuned because April 1st, we are kicking it off nightly. So I'll see you then. Enjoy the interview. Welcome to Poet Chats. My name is Kamari Carter Hawkins, and I am the author of Death by Comb and Write Back to You Journal, which is a guided journal for writing yourself back into your life. So I want to welcome you to the second annual Poet Chats. So excited. So Poet Chats is all about talking to poets every night in April. So April is National Poetry Month, if you did not know, which is amazing. And so this is my contribution to National Poetry Month. So I will be interviewing a different poet every night for the month of April. But wait, Kamari, isn't this March? Yes, it is. It is March 31st, which is National Women's History Month. And so it's also the kickoff of Poet Chats. And who else to kick it off with than Jessica Galleon, aka Yellow Woman. So I see she is in the room. I'm going to go ahead and add her, and we're going to get this Poet Chat popping. Little dance break while she's accepting the request. How is everybody's day doing? There she is. Hey!
Hey, girl.
How you doing?
I'm heavy right now, but I'm good.
Yeah. It's a heavy day in LA. But anyway, if you want to say anything about Nipsey, you can go ahead and anything you want to say. I know it's a lot.
All I really have to say is it really just boils down to they took another one. Those who follow him, his music, his philanthropy, know like what he's about. I don't need to advocate for that because we know that's why as a community everybody is so just like distraught, and I think it's just really unfortunate. 33 years old, the year of Jesus, Easter is on its way. It's just a lot of things that really just has my mind going, and it's very devastating. It's very heartbreaking to watch someone's truly like just their glow up, when people try to cancel someone out or whatever just because of wherever they're from, and to see them just owning their mind, their business, their community, and to know that somebody can still take you at any given moment, even though we know death is, we can't escape it. Like, it's just what it is. But for real, this is where this man be. This is who he is, like loyal to his soil. This is his community, and like for real. And then like the tweet he did like 30 minutes before this situation,
Right.
The power of words, like that's all I've been thinking about is, They took another one, and the power of words.
Definitely. And the power of words and just the power of even wanting to put an enterprise behind your words. Because he could have taken his money, moved off to Costa Rica, and lived the rest of his life and said, bye, y'all, right? That would be my route. But I am inspired by him using the power of his words, using the power of his influence to enterprise it and put it right back into the area where he came from. And how many celebrities doing that?
They talk about it, but not a lot. Feet on
Not a
the
lot.
ground, right?
There's camps and all kind of stuff, but I mean, actually, in coming there, starting the business, and frequenting it, like you're there on several occasions. So yeah,
That's why to me it's like super suspect. Like this is not new. Like, but again, I'm not. Yeah, it's just very devastating to see it unfold. Like Sundays, they have like everybody coming down the Shaw, and folks is out there hitting donuts. Like, I dare you to come and interrupt any of this ceremony that we're having right now, because that's exactly what that was, paying homage and straight ceremony. Like, don't interrupt it. It's not ghetto, it's not hood. It's like, just give somebody a minute. Let them just let people be. You understand? Like, not everything that draws a crowd is a crime. When you see people of color, it's not a crime. Some people hurt, regardless of what the norm is, to think that people of color, blacks, can just take this incredible amount of pain, whether it be physical, emotional, or just don't even consider that to be an option. It's real. Love is real. Black love is real. Black community is real. Support is real. Mental health is real. PTSD is real. You don't have to do 3 tours in Afghanistan or Iraq to have and suffer from PTSD. You can literally be sitting on your couch and the sirens and gunshots is the soundtrack to your life. Like, people have PTSD. You don't have to go to some foreign land to fight a war. You're here. It's every day. Standing at the bus stop, going to get a t-shirt to represent your community, to support someone. War is here. And so the power of words.
Definitely the power of words, and it is a war, and it's a very serious situation. As I was seeing a lot of people tweeting and Instagramming about watching, like a warning for all black men to stay in the house, because now apparently the gang is going to be airing out and trying to figure out who did it. So it's warning all black men, and I think that is the wrong response to something like this. I don't know what the right response is, but I definitely don't think we need more violence. And so I would say, like, right now, what do you think is like a proper response? And like, how can we use our words, especially as like poets, to maybe try to offer some kind of healing, some kind of resolve, even though that is like beyond belief right now?
Nina Simone, she talks about, the responsibility of the artist, whether they're a poet, painter, musician, anyone, is to reflect the times. And it's nothing to like call people. And when you say call people, we all know who them people is. We don't have to say who them people are, but we all know who we can call if we need to call. We all do. But why? Why make or why put that energy on it when we can just pause, take a minute, especially in this situation, this scenario? To me, that's not even the energy in which that young man lived his life. Why put that energy on his death when he didn't live like that, right? So I know too many good brothers who are fighting for their community, fighting for their children, their wives, and not responding that way. stepping out on love, picking up their babies and stepping out. I think of Peter J. Harris, I think of Michael Datcher, I think of, food for thought. I see these men, coming in, changing their communities one space at a time, one event at a time, one book at a time, one poem at a time. And I just feel like, why address a non-violent energy with a violent energy, right? I just don't think that young man lived his life like that. Not to say he wasn't with it, like, again, but I don't think that's how he lived his life. So why address it? But you absolutely have a right to be angry. I'm not dismissing anyone's anger or frustration, because I was out with my daughter today, and it just like, I just cried, and it just took a minute, and I just couldn't believe it. So many thoughts started running through my head, and I just was like, okay. So yeah, I don't think the approach is violence. I do think coming together and pausing, how would this man handle it? How would he execute this? If this happened to someone close to him, what would he do? Or how can we do better, right? How can we do better? How can we elevate? Through the power of words, through the power of music, through the power of outreach. Like, what could we do to do better and not respond the same way?
I agree. I definitely agree. There is a pausing that does need to take place, and that is one thing that I appreciate about like artistic beings and like poets and writers. They have a way of looking at life through a different lens, even through pain, through struggle. It's like, okay, they're not as reactionary. If they are with the pen and they write it out. And so that's one thing I love about your writing. It is always so raw, and it goes directly to the heart of the pain and the heart of whatever is going on. And so why do you feel like it's important to talk that pain for anyone that may be watching and that kind of runs away from writing about pain? So could you just talk about like your writing style and like that importance of doing that?
So let me tell you how God works. I was thinking about, that same thing. Like, why I feel like everyone wants you to be healed, but they don't want to see the healing process. Mm-hmm. They can tell you what you need to do and that you even need to do it, right? But don't come back until you've done it, because it's your work to do.
Right.
But I think that's so unfair. And although it is my work, it is my journey, does it mean that I have to do it alone, even though it is still my work? And I think it's important for emotions, feelings to be expressed. To me, that is the responsibility of the poet, acknowledging and letting those emotions out on paper, on the stage. That doesn't mean it's always pain. Some people feel like Mary J. Blige not gonna sell no records unless she got a heartbreak. You feel me? Like, but do I always have to bring my pain to the stage? Can I bring other things, right? Can I bring other joys or other emotions other than pain? But can I bring pain? Can I not be looked down upon, like, oh, here she go. Oh shit, she about to start crying. Oh, she about to start talking negative. Like, it's not negative. This is what I'm currently dealing with, And if you don't have that capacity to hold me in that, then what makes my seat at the hill table better? If you wasn't even part of my journey, like, you couldn't even support me during it, and I think I see these memes all the time. Don't look up at 50 years old and don't have nobody around you because you'd have dismissed everybody because they studied my growth, or like they not where I'm at right now. Like, I think
right.
yeah, like not everybody is going to be there, and everyone who is healed and where they are, and if they're where they want to be, you know, I still feel like it's okay to reach back, bring, you know, show, and don't always put a price tag to it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make me pay while I'm already struggling with myself.
Right.
Don't make me pay on top of it. Like, you know, to me, that's not community. Community is creating space, and I think it's important that poets are bringing those emotions. It's like church. You can feel how you feel, and then like you go into church, if you haven't been there for a while, and no matter how long it's been since you've gone, it's like the preacher got a word for you. Like, I ain't been here since last Christmas.
Right.
I was off this Sunday, popped in, and you like hitting on my soul right now. And I feel like that's poetry. That's a poem. When you can walk into a space and that person is able to just bring your soul out in front of you, your situation in front of you.
Mm-hmm. So as a writer that may have a very personal, painful piece, how do you know when it's time to share, or maybe it's too soon? Like, how do you know it's ready to present to the world?
Um, so Father Abdi, he was like, okay, baby, it sounds like you done vomiting now. Working with him, you know, talking to him, Watts Prophets, you know, Watts Writers Workshops, talking with him and going through poems, and it's like, it sounds like you're done vomiting. And sometimes we just need to vomit. We need to regurgitate. We need to get it out of our system, right? Every poem you write that makes sense while you're writing it, to like leave it alone and go back to it 2 days later and you're like, wait, what? You know, sometimes like it's cool. Like sometimes you need to get it out, and there should be safe spaces for that. You know, spaces where you can go and just release. But you know, maybe you might need to pause. Maybe you're not saying exactly what you mean to say because words have power.
Mm-hmm.
So I think each poem, I think each situation is different. And when you feel spirit, you just honor that. You know, it's okay to honor spirit. It's okay if it's not perfect. Just because it's not perfect doesn't mean that you don't take it serious either. Right. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's important to honor it, because how will you know if you're growing? You know, sometimes your work, it's okay for your work to be time capsule. Like everything that comes out doesn't have to be perfect, but do everything with good intention.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that kind of just puts that
I
in
think
the right.
it's really good. Of course, that reminds me of Solange. Like, do everything
Right?
with intention. Don't do nothing without. And
Yes.
that's so true. And actually, I mean, this is not really that much related, but I went to this social media panel and they were talking about like how each square that you put out should be like an experience of its own. It should be like intentional and something that you have crafted, like a stanza or a sonnet. And I think that in terms of like writing and poetry, it should be like intentional. Like, what is this experience that you want to provide? What is, like after you've done vomiting, after you've done that kind of work, if you use it for therapeutic reason, but if you turn it now into a craft, like, what is this experience that I'm creating? So, do you have any like, well, I wanted to ask two questions. One was like, do you have maybe a writing routine? If not, that's cool. I don't really have. I'm in the midst of trying to create one and figure one out. Like, what triggers that spout to flow? And then the other question is like, if you have any tips for any writers that are on here that are like starting out writing and like, okay, this is kind of cool, or maybe they've been writing for a while but haven't shared, or they don't feel confident. So that's a two-part question.
Okay, so like my writing routine, I try to write something every day. I've gotten past the point of sitting down and needing to write a poem every day. It's okay to challenge yourself, absolutely, especially with Poetry month coming up, like a lot of people are really trying to challenge themselves to do a poem a day for the next month, right? Um, but it's totally okay to just write words, to write a line. I'm blessed to have a lot of writers and artists in my life, and I know people who talk in poetry. Um, so someone may say something, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a poem," like
Mm-hmm.
you hear like, "Oh, you need to write that poem." And so then sometimes I get that same feedback, and I'm like, "Okay, let me write that down."
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking it's for a reason. Um, if it's bubbling up in your chest and your throat, like get it out, say it. You could do it. You can have a strategy to it, absolutely. What really encourages me and supports my creativity is music. Um, I love live music, so I love going where I can be around live music,
Mm-hmm.
instruments, and just around other artists. So when I'm off, I choose to spend time with other artists. So like on Monday nights right in Lamar Park, you have my show Music Mondays, and like it's a beautiful live band. And this brother is singing, he's playing the violin, he has other artists, and it's not just black folks. It's just talented creatives that are coming around and just loving on each other and encouraging and just feeding off each other's energy. And I can sit there and just go. So for me, music plays a very big role in my creativity process. My daughter can be singing or rehearsing or playing on the drums, and I'm just going. When I hear music, it just inspires me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So yeah, and then I feel like, so like what tips
Mm-hmm.
would I give to someone who's like starting out? Um, just honor it. You are not the only person going through it, even though it feels that way, and no one's gonna get it, like especially your parents. But truly, like we were all kids once.
Yeah.
We all went through things before. We all go through things. Don't be afraid to just write it down, get it out, honor what you're feeling. You just never know how that poem can change your life, how that story can change someone else's life. Just get it out. It doesn't matter if you don't think that you're as good as someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let that be the reason you don't share and you don't tell your story. Like I go through that all the time. People who know me, like I was just texting Michelle Williams and Miss Roberti. I'm like, yo, I'm nervous for this interview, and I'm sitting down in my house. Like I'm at my house, right? Like I'm at my house. Like got my drawers and my shirt on. Like I'm at my house, comfortable, and I'm nervous. So the nerves don't go away. Um, you're gonna constantly gain confidence. Um, just just be true, be honest, be upfront with it. They say there's no such thing as writer's block. You just not telling the truth. Like you stopping yourself from like really just telling it. So
Mm-hmm.
just tell it. Yeah, it may twist up some stuff, but then also too, it's like do everything with good intention and
Mm-hmm.
with purpose. Not every poem you write tonight is going to be for the performance next weekend. The poem tonight might serve justice 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to share it right away.
Yeah.
You can get it out, but you don't have to just like share it. Oh, I read over here, like I wrote this on the way here, like cool. Because sometimes that's how spirit moves you. Like you could be
Mm-hmm.
anywhere. I got poems on the inside of candy wrappers because I minded my business, and then here comes this poem. So just honor it. Be who you are. It's definitely needed.
I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, I definitely want to comment on that. And before I comment, I want to say I have the comment sections turned off. So for those that are watching, get your questions ready, and I'm gonna release the comments. I did that so that when I've saved this, the comments is not blocking the
Yeah.
face. And so once, after this next segment, Jessica's going to share a poem and I'm going to turn the comments. I'm just preparing you, Jessica.
Oh,
But
Lord.
I'm going to turn the comment sections back on, and then I'm hoping that our lovely viewers have some questions. So, I came out here, Portland, for AWP, which is like this big writers conference, all these panels. Everybody's a writer or a poet, and that was really dope. But like, I've been here since Thursday, and I haven't written not one thing because I had the imposter syndrome, which is like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. I'm not this, blah, 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 thoughts. But then I'm riding the train today, and I was just wanting to view Portland, whatever. And the city, is definitely lacking a lot of Black people. And the one that I saw on the train was in the back. I just saw her face. Because how somebody, you could sit on like the level, and I was lower, and I just saw her face. So the train stops, and I guess she gets off. I was doing something. I look up, and right as like the train doors are closing, I see that she's butt naked. And I was like, I just started bawling, crying, because everybody's just looking at her like, gawking and just kind of, or ignoring her. And I was like surprised at how invisible that she was in her nakedness, just out there. No, either people were disgusted, not trying to help her, or she was just flat out invisible. And it just really showed me, like, reminded me just how invisible we are in this world amongst, people that don't look like us. So it just really broke my heart. And that was the first poem I finally wrote out of this whole weekend. And so I could have just like sat there and just like, oh, I'll write it when I get home or whatever. But it's like how you said, like when it bubbles up in you, you have to get it out, or else either it's going to leave you, never come back, or never come back the same. Even if you try to, you got to do it right in the moment when you're just feeling all the feels. And so, yeah, I'm really glad that you did say that. So, yes. So please, if you would be so kind to share us a poem or two.
Like, if I do two, like back to back, or like one now and then one later. Oh, back to back. Okay.
Back to back, and then I'm gonna open up the questions.
Okay. I could do No Animal, and then I'll share like a newer piece.
Okay.
I think it's kind of fitting, unfortunately.
Right.
Every time I do this piece, it's like it's fitting, and it's just like more and more devastating that it's still fitting. Title of this piece is No Animal, and this piece is actually in my book, Can't No Woman Like Me. So if you own it, yeah, it's in there. Black man ain't no animal. Just because you hunt, shoot, and kill him for sport, don't mean you get to trophy his head on precinct walls. Interesting how he never becomes endangered. Funny how he survives after years and years of buying, selling, trading, and killing him off. Black man ain't no animal, and although he is rare bird, don't mean you get to strategically pluck and clip his wings with a full clip while we watch a clip of it on social media. He be Ebony Phoenix, rising despite gun smoke, soaring high above expectations with every degree, every Black-owned business. Every sacred marriage, every son and daughter that knows him, in every community that depends on him for their very existence. I'm telling you, he ain't no animal. Because if he was, he would have ripped your ass open long time ago. Sank his teeth in, dragged your lifeless body back into the cave, devoured your ignorance, discarded your bones for all to see. See, he don't want none of your kind running through his veins. Never wants to become like the animals that treat him like prey. But since he is hunted, he knows when to run, how to hide, doing his best to dodge bullets. traps and trick ropes, just so he don't end up hanging from one. Black man ain't no animal. Running don't make him no punk. He is breaking free from the cage they tried to put him in. He could never be tamed or trained. No matter how much you whip him, the shape he is in will never be for your benefit. The day he turns animal is the day the jungle falls.
Whew. Wow.
That is so disappointing. If you have a man in your household tonight, just hug him. I don't give a shit if y'all was arguing earlier. Just hug him. Just hug him. You just don't know. Really, what are you fighting for? What are you arguing about? Like, really, you just don't know. And black men, if you are watching, sir, like, take a minute. Whenever you take a minute, we are depending on you. We love you. We are here for you. Like, just take a minute before any move, any decision. Pray more, cry more. Just take a minute, please. We need you. Just take a fucking minute. Like, just take a minute. Just take a minute. So, the next piece is titled Water and Other Forms of Release. Young lady, The Letting of a Little Water. It's Kira Patterson. I just really appreciate this young woman, and she truly she asked, like, could you, say a piece at my book release? And I'm like, what? When people ask me to share my work at a moment that is about them, it is really moving and it's truly an honor. So this piece stemmed from her spirit, her joy, and it was just really, truly a reminder of my reason, my purpose, and again, right. You just never know who you are going to inspire, who you are going to encourage, and who needs to hear what you got. Because it can really be life-changing for them. So, I'm gonna have to read this one. Y'all gonna be all right, though.
We'll be all right.
Wonderful. Shout out to Eternal Mind, who just, like, told me, like, yo, word, you can read. Like, everybody not just reciting. Like, you see some of the greats reading off paper. So I appreciate you forever and always. Eternal, much love. Okay. I write for all of the women in me. The forgotten little girl, the you'll never forget me grown woman. I write for my lovers. The one yet to arrive, know that I pray for you constantly. Those that have come and gone, left houses on my skin, empty rooms, colorful walls, broken windows, the ones left open and the ones sealed shut. I write for lips that have been sealed. Those beaten into silence, the ones that are afraid. I even write for the loose ones. The ones that'll never get it right, I write to tell it straight. I write for the mothers, the tired ones, the proud ones, those that never became, and the ones that cry for the living, the buried, and the unborn. I write to speak honestly, speak the unspoken, shine a light in a dim corner. I write when backed into corners. I write to eliminate boxes, pencil them into circles, then erase that shit when I start spinning. I write to stand still. Stand up for the black I be, the house nigga that sometimes wish she were a field nigga. Somebody, anybody, write me off of this damn porch. I write for freedom. Liberation between my legs, my ears. Let my tongue dance how it won't. Let it two-step off my lips, tango down my chest. I write to fight the war in my throat. I write for all of the men, the sunflowers, the shotguns, those that are soil, those that are bullets. Some birth, some kill, some stand tall while others get chopped at the knees. I'll write them flowing waters and crutches. I write for all of the poems dropped on my lap, the essays placed on my at my feet.
My phone cut out just a little bit at that very
Oh,
point.
we
I'm
can
so
run it
sorry.
back.
Something happened, but nevertheless, that was very powerful and so beautiful. And I hope that she's in here to have heard that. But you read it at the release, though.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So
did.
beautiful. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing those poems. Very
Thank you.
timely. Um, very timely. Like, and I hear what you're saying. It's like, I wish that it wasn't, and it's sad, but that's definitely has been and still is my favorite poem by you, and it's so important. I feel like every person in the world needs to hear that. So, yes, I want to open up the comment section. I hope
Lord,
the viewers have their questions ready. Let's see who's in here. I'm gonna start calling out people. I am Talita, Dr. Donnie, Simply Me, Poetess Kina, Little Golden Blackout Poems, and River Oshun. Go ahead and ask them questions. I just called all of y'all out. Can you see the comments that are up?
so far, I just see like a few people, like people who have joined. Donnie Jackson waved. I have been told not to call him Mr. Jackson, so I will call him Donnie. Thank you, sir. Like, Vika Lee, her and I were talking about Donnie, and she goes, I think he was just born that way. Man, it's powerful, beautiful, much love and respect. Peace, Eternal.
Poetess Kina said, are you writing a second book?
I think so. Like the poems are coming, and like my first book, I was able to go through Community Literature Initiative, which is a 9-month program over at USC. Hiram Sims, wonderful professor, pushed me a lot, allowed me to write and just get it out and come in every Monday. Accountability for 9 months, and life was truly happening for them 9 months and everything prior. So yes, I don't know who will publish the second book. I don't know how this is going, but the poem My Life is still unfolding, and I just want to honor that. So yes. Yes, second book is coming out. Yes.
Yes. Any more questions now that the section is open? Don't be shy.
Hey, Sharice Gibbs. Hey, girl.
It can be personal as well. Personal questions.
Oh, it can be personal. Oh, Lord.
It can be personal questions or about poetry. We'll be taking, let me see, what time is it? Yeah, in the next 2 minutes.
Word.
Yeah, so thank you again. Let me see if I can ask another question if nobody else is, but this has been so rich for me, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So if anybody has any more questions, go ahead. So one thing you can do while we're waiting is tell me more about your book that you do have out now.
So right now I have out Can't No Woman, Woman Like Me. Yes, Talita, I did say that. Don't worry about it. I'm grown. And so is everyone else
And
on
out.
this thread. We love y'all. Hello. That might be the next title of my book, t-shirt and panties on. Not for real. Can't no woman like me. Yes, it actually is the last line of a poem titled Big Girl Panties, which I performed as my winning piece for a poetry slam I did and won, which was like mad crazy. Shout out to Aisha Parker. Oh my God, George McDonald. That man loved OB and supported me through the phone. I had never met him before. And he was like coaching and supporting, Miss Reverdia. A lot of people know her as Mama River. I call her Miss Reverdia. She was like, Miss Reverdia. But yes, all of this came into play on how this book came about. And in the book, I talk about single motherhood. I talk about my insecurities. I talk about domestic violence. I talk about colorism, my culture. I'm a Black woman, Creole woman from Louisiana. Raised in Los Angeles, born out in Louisiana, stayed out there for a while. And just that transition from Louisiana to Los Angeles, experiencing bullying as a kid growing up and still dealing with that at 33 years old. Just, I don't look like your typical Black woman. And I'm often told, or people try to tell me what I am, who I am based off of how I look. And then I talk about all of that in the book. A lot of people, a lot of experiences played a major role in how that book came to be. And I just thank everyone who did, good, the bad, the ugly, the blessings, not the blessings, but the blessings and lessons combined, the blessings. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, your negativity, your wonderfulness, all of that. It just really speaks in that book. And I really had to get that out and really had to, because that's where I was. I may not be there a lot anymore. I still have my moments. I'm human. I'm figuring it out. But I felt alone when I went through those situations. And then when I say my poems and present my book, I have women and men who come to me like, I'm that dude you're talking about. I'm in a domestic violence situation right now. How can I get out? You have a responsibility when you air your truth. It makes other people want to share theirs. And people will ask you and will want to know. So don't take the space provided for granted.
I love it. We actually got some more questions in. Little Golden Blackout Poem says, where are your favorite spaces to perform?
I love local spots. I mean, I've gone to the World Stage. I've gone to Hot and Cool Cafe. I've spoken La Palabra. A bunch of different places, even places that aren't even like around anymore. But to be quite honest, I'm a fan first. So a lot of times I like going to just sit down and to receive. I'm still very much a fan of poetry, and it's very important for me to listen. And sometimes with having a book or being a poet that people love, thank goodness, and I'm still amazed about the love, but I just like going and being wherever art is, museums, and then people hear me and they like, you got to come where I'm at, And so I've done anything from speaking at a college to a gala to a funeral, like to small gatherings. I love it all. It's all part of it. And none of it I knew could even come my way. So I'm grateful for every experience. And no one's experience is the same.
Right.
Omari, like your experiences as a poet aren't the same as mine. but we both are out here doing the same thing. And that's the beauty of it. Like, there's always space and there's always room.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Cherie Sims says, how do you poet and mom? Times you need to perform, create, teach, or write. How do you poet and mom?
how do I poet and mom? Ooh, um, so like it really does sometimes get to me when I'm in spaces and I see artists with their children. And I'm like, man, this is amazing. Because I invite Jayla to everything that she actually can come to. But she like, nah, mom, that's your thing. I like music. I do my drums. So sometimes that guilt of being off, like getting off early, right? When you think you could just go home and spend time with your kids. Sometimes it's you getting off early, packing up your books and gassing it up and going straight out to Pasadena, going straight out to Pomona, going straight out to Long Beach, hopping on the plane. Any of those things can be something that keeps you from your kid. I think communication is everything. FaceTime your kid, sending little messages, having conversations with your kid. Like, I was talking to my daughter the other day, and she's been around a lot of kids who have endured a lot of trauma and experiences. And one of her friends said, I didn't grow up with superheroes, I grew up with villains. And the more and more I look at her and her talent, and I see just how real God is, I'm just like, it absolutely blows my mind. And a lot of times I'll talk to Jayla, like, I'll call Jayla, like, Jay, I'm nervous. I'm like on my way. She's like, girl, are you a bomb or not? You know your poems or not? She's like, because I'm playing Fortnite and you interrupted me with this foolishness.
I love her. We all need a little Jayla in our lives.
Jayla will snatch me through the phone, okay? Like, girl, I'm playing Fortnite. Can you work that out? And she's like, Mom, you'll be fine. And like, I truly do be fine. So when Nicole P said, like, he calls his son before he does a show, like, to talk to him, like, I truly get that. And Jayla will snatch me. So yeah, that's how I'm mom. Like, that's my girl. Like, she will catch me all the way and get me together. Yeah.
River Ocean says, how do you recognize the truth you write from?
How do I recognize it? Okay, so I don't know if it's just me, but a lot of times I feel like I'm crazy or over emotional or extra, like guacamole. So I feel like if I get out what I feel, and I can breathe. If I can't breathe while I'm writing it, then I know that it's what it is. Battery doing stupid stuff. So I said, if I can't breathe while I'm writing it, like I have to, like my heart is racing, then I know I'm getting it out. And if I can breathe after I'm done, then I know. And if I'm just sitting there like chilling and my heart is not racing, I just say, get out what I have at that moment and just be done. You know what I mean?
I love it. 2 more questions, and then we're going to end. I am Talita says, do you have an intentional process you use to build your confidence?
Okay, so confidence is something I struggle with daily. However, I pray a lot. And I also, like I said, I'm blessed to have a lot of creatives in my life. And we definitely support each other. Nobody is walking around full fledged, I got it all the time. You understand what I'm saying? So when you have your girls or the men in your life that can really just snatch you and tell you, you know, boom, this is it. This is what you need to do. Or like give you a look like, if you don't stop, and then when all else fails, I got Jayla. So, you know, she'll definitely like, girl. she
And she
she
said,
crossed the street
"Can't
the
no
other
daughter
day.
daughter like her."
Huh?
Sharice has said, "Can't no daughter like her."
Listen, Jayla was crossing the street the other day, and I was like, watch your steps. She goes, I wish that hoe would. It was like a little pothole in the street. Like, I wish that hoe would. Don't try me. All right, Jayla. You're right, girl. So she told her swim
Oh,
the other day she is the pool. I was like, oh, okay. So my thing is, no matter what I'm struggling with, as long as I know that what I'm telling my daughter is representing in how she lives, and I can see her exude that, then it's a reminder of like, Jess, you can do that too. Like I'm not confident all the time. I have my insecurities. Like it's real. Like I'm not perfect. I'm not any of that, and I'm not gonna lie about it. You know what I mean? So it's a daily thing. Absolutely, absolutely. And when I
I
feel like crap, I'm putting on a dress, some lipstick. I'm gonna look opposite of what I feel. Absolutely.
And last question of the night. How did you decide, excuse me, how did you decide to create writing after hours? Creating after hours.
Oh, I had a like a idea, thought one evening, and I was just like, it'd be really dope if it was like a spot that was open like the club, but for poets or for artists. You know, people can come and just work on their art, do whatever it is that they do, right? So that was the inspiration behind that. And then I got the support from World Stage Press, and then
Hmm.
Ali supported me like, yeah, you can use the space. Like, I'll make sure I'm here with the key. And then like I'm here and I'm talking to PJ Harris, who's like, why did nobody think of this? We outside talking after events anyway. Like, why did it take a whole nother generation to do this? And
Wow.
like, wow, okay, like that man is amazing. He's an elder, a griot, like, and to have that support. And then to reach out to other individuals like, hey, would you lead a session? Do you want to, you know, do a Creating After Hours takeover? And they like, yes, I would love to. And then I don't want to charge, but you know, we have snacks and stuff. You want to donate, cool. But I don't want somebody to be like, dang, $5, I don't have that. To why you can't come and create and miss out on something that's low key for you, but you stressing over $5, like the bus or Creating After Hours, you know, something to eat or Creating After Hours. Like that should never be. Everybody deserves poetry. Everybody deserves art. Why? Like, why not? And it's a lot of people who work who can't make it out all the time, but need to be around each other's energy. So that's why Creating After Hours is here. It's for us, by us, and it's important that it's here. And I'm gonna do it as long as I can.
Awesome. Yeah, so Creating After Hours is every first Wednesday of the month. If you're in Los Angeles, come by the World Stage at 11 p.m. It is free, donations accepted because there's tea and snacks. So that is all the announcements. I don't know where Jessica went, but I would like to.
I was trying to find my charger because I'm like on my 10%. Life is real, and this extension cord is not extended for enough. So,
It's all good. It's all good. So thank you so much for
oh,
being
thank you.
kickoff poet for Poet Chats.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. And congratulations to you. Like 3 books, poet chats, like everything that you're doing with World Stage Press. The community needs you. We love you. We support you. We got your front and we got your back. And I need to hear this piece about the naked woman who bared it all.
Yeah,
I need to hear it. So
it's coming.
I
It's,
need to hear it.
thank you. I really appreciate those words. You know how, we be out here doing stuff and it's nice to just, feel seen, and thank you. And I see you. You see me, and I see you. We out
Yep.
here. So thank you
I
for.
see you. Much love to you.
Thank you. Much love to you too. Thank you to everyone that has tuned in. As a reminder, this is Jessica Galleon. But I know we always say it like that. It's Jessica Galleon at Yellow.
I
Make sure you follow her and her journey. She's taken off. So make sure you follow her. And make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as we will be talking with Michael Maitrey. And I'm doing my best to save these lives and put them on YouTube. So we're gonna hope that this technology work out for me. But thank you so much,
Yes.
Jessica. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. And to anyone who's ever supported me,
Mhm.
allowed me to speak at your space, at your event, at anything that you hold near and dear to you, I appreciate you. Anyone who is agreeing to collaborate with me, I appreciate you. Anyone who's ever paid me for anything or just swapped books with me, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm reading and I'm receiving and I see you. And I couldn't do any of this without your love and your support. And I just hope that we all can continue to work together on page, on stage, in the community, and just really love on each other because we truly are all we got.
Definitely.
Thank you.